If you've never tried these before, these are the secret to properly transplanting your pumpkins, squashes, and cucumbers. Stay tuned for more. Hello Canadian gardeners, cold climate gardeners, and gardeners of the extremes. How are you guys doing today? My name is Ashley. I'm a soil scientist by formal education with a minor in plant science, and on this channel we take science and we apply it to all things gardening and plant care. If you like the sounds of that, be sure to hit that subscribe button, tap that like button, and leave a comment below if you're new around here, because this crew is awesome and I want to start a community, and therefore I answer all comments that are made. Today we are in the greenhouse because we are going to be using an invention by my grandma and mother. I don't actually know if this is gonna work yet, so clickbait. No, just kidding. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my watermelons and my pumpkins into one of these guys, because if you are from Canada or a cold climate, you do know you have to start your giant pumpkins and certain varieties of watermelons early. It is not a seed in the garden type scenario, so I'm going to try to transplant my watermelons and my pumpkins into these containers. The theory is that if I transplant them into this without mucking around with their roots, and then I transplant this whole cup into the garden or into the container that I am going to be growing my pumpkins and watermelons in, there will be no root stress, and therefore I won't have any transplant shock, which is huge with pumpkins, squashes, watermelons, cucumbers. If you've been in the vining business for long, you know that they do not transplant well. So in an ideal world, my grandma and my mom would have told me about these sooner, and I wouldn't have planted my seeds in this directly. But since I'm late to show up to the game, we are going to use a old trick of theirs to see if it works. So they folded these little boxes out of newspaper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant them in there. And the reason why I want to try this, and the reason why I think this actually may work, is because when it comes to transplanting and transplant shock, which I will go into in another video I'm actually doing for next week, and how to reduce it on both flowering plants and vegetable plants, the main focus, as long as we've hardened our plants off properly the week before, our main focus is just ensuring the roots are okay. So if we can reduce the shock that is applied to the roots, we can reduce the shock and the wilting that we see on the plants itself. So that is why I think this theory is gonna work. But there are some things other than just directly transplanting my pumpkins and my watermelons to the new container. I also do think we are going to have to take them out of the sunshine, out of the wind, and bring them back indoors and give them a few days to kind of recuperate. And we want to try to limit the external stresses on the leaves themselves, and we want them to focus mainly on developing their root system again and less focus on producing new leaves. So my hypothesis when it comes to paper planters like this is that they'll transplant fine if I bring them inside and I reduce the moisture loss and the stress that is being put on the leaves and the stem of the plant. Because if I don't bring them inside and I allow the leaves to be exposed to heat and wind, they will wilt and they will die. The reason being is the roots are going to get a shock to the system, which is what happens outside anyways. The roots are going to have a shock to the system. This shock is going to send the hormone ABA up the stem to the leaves, and it is going to tell the stomata and the guard cells of the leaf to snap close and stop photosynthesis and focus only on root development. And if I leave my plants exposed to wind, sun, and heat, my leaves are going to dehydrate and my plant is going to wilt. So to prevent the drying out and the snapping shut of my guard cells and the stress on the plant, I am going to transplant them in these containers and bring them inside so they're not exposed to the heat and they're not exposed to the wind. So those are two factors that will no longer exist that are going to actually drain moisture out of the leaves, and the only stress that they're going to have is going to be sunlight, which is also going to be limited because they are going to be inside. So that is a theory. Is it going to work? No idea, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to transplant these guys and then I'll be right back. So we're outside and these are my watermelons. I space them out because of the vine, so I do 3 instead of 6. And these are my giant pumpkins. So I'm going to be transplanting 3 and 5, technically 6. He's not doing too good. Not enough steam in the engine, so I'm going to be transplanting these guys into my paper cups. That fertilizer container is only holding it down. And what I'm going to do is as always with any transplant, we want to reduce the stress on the roots. So number 1 is we want to water our soil. So that is not wet enough. That is not wet enough. This is wet enough. So it is soaked. So I'm gonna water my watermelons and get them up to snuff where I want them at, because we want to reduce the stress on the roots and we want to fake it till we can make it. And in this case, that means water, water, water. And this goes for transplanting anything, not just these guys. Flowers, tomatoes, everything. You want the seedlings to be moist before the transplant takes place. As always, we have the homemade potting soil. I reuse my potting soil every year, so this is the creation I use in my pots. It is nice and fluffy and airy, just the way I like it. And this is dry. Now, the reason why this is wet and this is dry is actually because I want this not to have its own mold formed. I want the mold to form around my plant. So this stays dry until it is transplanted with this, and then I water and it will mold around my formation that I have here, rather than having to deal with 2 already formed soils that kind of have their own idea of what they're going to do. I can play with one that is fully decided on what form it's going to take, and the other is not decided yet until I water it when it's already planted with this one. So I hope that makes sense, but that's just what I like to do. Alrighty. So I am probably not going to need any soil for this, but I'm just going to show you how I get these guys out. So we do not tussle the roots. I am grabbing by the lower stem here, and the less movement, the better. Okay. Then all I'm gonna do is not break up the form, and we're just going to stick this in here. So now that I'm looking at this, if you've been on this channel for a little while, you'll know I'm obsessed with soil structure and how the container itself is also involved in the soil structure. So this being a soil structure that doesn't allow for gas exchange is going to be a totally different ball game for the roots, because this is going to allow for gas exchange. So that alone is going to be enough stress to change the dynamics of the plant. So that's good, but it's something to be aware of. So this is technically considered part of the soil structure to me. As a soil scientist, there is more gas exchange happening here. So this compared to this is going to be just a difference unto itself in the plant. So fingers crossed I didn't just kill my pumpkins. So next one, you can see there's nothing left in there, and I didn't add any soil to that, and I'm not gonna water. That is done. Next one. Watermelon. So these are sweet sugars. baby sweet sugars, and you're probably like, well, you could have seeded those direct into the garden. Not really. Saskatchewan. Oh, that is a beautiful root system. Okay, I'm not gonna fuck around with this. I'm not going to bleep around with this. So I'm going to just set it in the container. There is no soil in this container. And now I'm going to hold it up straight, and I'm just going to sprinkle soil in and around. This. And this one I am going to water. I'm not pushing down, I'm just letting it fall down the side here. Okay, this guy is potted up. He is going to get a water. And let's do the rest of them. I will be back in a bit. I forgot to mention, I'm actually planting these in a very cool, there's no sun right now. If it was really windy, if it was very cold, if it was very hot and there was sun beating down on me, I'd be doing this inside. I would not be doing this outside. You want to reduce the stress again. But since it's pretty mild outside, I'm okay with doing it out here. But just note that I completely forgot to mention that. But yeah, you'd want a meek mild temperature, meek mild sun. If that's not the case, inside. So actually another step that I think would help a lot with this. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. So another idea that I think would limit the stress on the root system would be if when you plant this into your boxes, you put the plants over in the corner. So I'm gonna put my plant in the corner, and then I'm going to leave this space. So I'm only putting soil and dropping soil on 2 sides rather than 4 sides. And it sounds weird, but I literally, if anyone who's replanted cucumbers, watermelons, pumpkins, they know how stressful this is. Let me know in the comments below if you guys actually have done transplants successfully and kind of how you did them and how they worked and stuff. I'd be really excited to know what you used. Usually when I plant these guys, my success rate is 50%, so I over plant my giant pumpkins and watermelons so that, because I'm expecting half of them not to make the transplant. And I know those sounds like terrible stats, but it's just a reality sometimes. So there we go, that one is done. Okay, so we are planted up officially. I will let you guys know how this goes. I'll do regular updates on these guys just to let you know how they transplanted into these, and then how they then will be transplanted probably in a few weeks. I'm waiting for the temperature to be double digits at night before they go outside. How they transplant. Okay, so day 1 update. This is over 24 hours later, and everyone is happy and healthy and not droopy. This guy's a little droopy. Other than that, I am very impressed with this. So far so good. So the soil at the farm. And yeah, so if you want updates, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will recruit my mom and grandma to show us how exactly they fold these origami pot things at a newspaper. I will talk to you guys later. See ya. Happy seeding. Oh, hey there. Are you still watching? Make sure to hit that subscribe button for some more awesome plant videos.